Hey everyone, welcome to another episode on Finding Griffey. Today we're finding Michael. Finding Michael Jordan. This is a 1993-94 Fleer Ultra Series 1 basketball box. Looking for some Jordans. There's some Jordans that are hot commodities out here. The Scoring Kings is the best card to get out of this box from this year. Thanks for being here. Normally we do baseball, hence Finding Griffey, King Griffey Jr. If you're new here, that is what's normal. But I love Michael Jordan, grew up loving him. He is in my PC. I started kind of digging into more Michael Jordan cards recently since I found an old Michael Jordan that I had back in the day that my parents gave me my big old storage box of cards, and there were a couple Jordans in there. Kind of got me back into basketball back in that era, which is the late 80s, mid to late 80s and early 90s. But this is a 1993 Fleer Ultra. There's a chance that these cards are bricked a little bit, so this may be a little bit longer video. I apologize ahead of time. If there's some big hits, I'll put down in the notes or in the description some of the time spots to find and see some of those hits. So you're not here all day, but anyway, I am glad you're here. Let's get into this rip. I am excited to see what we can find in here. I'm actually going to use scissors to open the actual packs. This reasonably expensive box. This is sealed, factory sealed. They do have a tendency to brick with the it's almost not even a chromium finish that they use these days. It's almost, I don't even know what it was that they used, but it tend to stick, and the hits, usually the inserts are on the outside pack. So we'll set these here and get them out. I have had these. I know it's kind of strange, and we're just going to test it and see what happened. I did have these in the refrigerator. I've kind of read, some people actually put these in the freezer. I didn't want to do that. I was a little nervous putting them in the refrigerator, but that's what I did. So I'm going to cut these instead of rip into these, and just to see if we can preserve some of these cards. There's some better hits in here that I don't want to mess up. See, they're bricked a little bit here. I'm gonna, just this top one is bricked. You can see that, how they're stuck together a little bit, but looks like they're gonna be okay. So I'm gonna go through here a little bit more slowly. So the inserts usually are on the outside, the back. Looking for Jordan. There's a little bit of a glare, but we're going to have some Hall of Famers in here, the people that you're going to recognize, especially if you follow basketball in the 80s and 90s. There's a Vlade Divac with the Lakers, Mark Jackson, Billy Owens, Detlef Schrempf. Have a Mark Price, Fleer Ultra. We have a Will Perdue, if you were a Chicago Bulls fan. Anthony Peeler, Stanley Roberts, Bimbo Coles, as well as Reggie Miller there. So this is Reggie Miller. This may have been a rookie card. Fantastic player. I don't know how these cards are. I don't know, can't remember the rookies. Let's see, it just looks like they just have 1 year there. So points totals, Mark Jackson, it looks like that might be, pull that Reggie Miller. I can't tell. I'll have to do a little more research, but I obviously Reggie Miller is a fantastic basketball player and was a tremendous shooter. And most of these better known cards and Hall of Famers I am going to set aside. Looks like we might have an insert here. That's not Jordan. I don't think that's Jordan with Tom Gugliotti. He played. We're actually watching the NC State game, and he played for NC State. We'll set that one aside just a little bit. But so, yeah, it looks like these outside cards are the ones that are having a little bit of stickiness. Tyrone Corbin. We have Doc Rivers. This pack may have a little bit of stickiness, but nothing major. Dan, I cannot remember. Major. I can't remember how to pronounce that. Even though I remember the guy, I don't know. Brian Shaw. Todd Day. Looking for Jordan. It's a small set. Hubert Davis. He is the head coach for the North Carolina Tar Heels right now. I'm going to set him aside because I like the Tar Heels and I like Hubert Davis. Irvin Johnson. The Sonics. I don't remember him. Terry Porter. I do remember Terry Porter. This box has 36 packs, so this will be a little bit more of a longer rip than normal. Charles Smith and Oliver Miller. I actually can probably go a little bit faster with, since these are not sticking very much. But I am using my daughter's sewing scissors because they do cut very, very well. And I'm going to pull that part off. We have a James Worthy on the back, and there we go. There's a Michael Jordan on the top there. Nice as his base card. It's probably going to be a little bit sticky, so we're going to set him aside. Michael Jordan, Matt Bullard. We are looking for as many Jordans as we can. That's actually the card to hit. But the Scoring Kings is the big card to hit. Another Bull, B.J. Armstrong, Muggsy Bogues, Ala Abdelnaby, I do remember that name, Stacey Augmon, John Williams, Paul Graham, and on the back is going to be the James Worthy, which is obviously another previous Tar Heel. We're going to get him sleeved up. I'm going to sleeve the Jordan. Go ahead and get that one sleeved up. I've started clipping these edges, these corners of my penny sleeves, just because they go in better. I don't know if you can tell. So yeah, it just goes in a little bit better. These cards that tend to get the edges damaged on entry into even a penny sleeve. So I am trying to be a little more careful with, some of my higher end packs and higher end rips to make sure that doesn't damage a corner going in the penny sleeves. I've been sending off a ton of cards here recently to PSA, and obviously I check the cards out before I send them, and some good cards I've noticed have corners that were a little bit picked from going into there's a Spud Webb. Played golf with Spud Webb back when I was in the DC area. It was a fundraiser. Nice guy. Lives in Houston now, or maybe not now. He did then and was in real estate. So we talked real estate since I was in commercial banking. There's a David Robinson, another Hall of Famer. Spur. That's a good card there. And these are in good shape. These are they're really clean. Here comes that's a Glenn Rice. I thought that was another Michael Jordan. Jeff Turner. We have a Glenn Rice. Anthony Avent, Greg Anthony, I think that's the second Greg Anthony, Danny Ainge, Michael Cage, Clyde the Glide Drexler, and Larry Nance. Larry Nance was, he could jump out of the gym. Clyde the Glide Drexler, I believe, not 100%, I think should be 100%. I'm thinking he played for the Houston Cougars when in his college days. I could actually look at the back of that card and find out, but to save some time, I'm just going to keep going through this rip here. We got a Sean Brooks, another John Williams, different John Williams than before, I think. We have Harold Miner, Pooh Richardson, great name. Sam Bowie. Did you know Sam Bowie was actually the #1 draft pick ahead of Michael Jordan? Fun fact. Had an unbelievable career in college. Danny Manning, now into the head coaching days. Rick Schmidt, he's one of the, he's a deadly shooter. I think he was a shooter. No, he was a center. That's right. He was a shooter, but he has nice form with his free throw. Gerald Wilkins, Scottie Pippen. Set the Scottie aside. Mark Bryant. Some of these do stick just enough to make me nervous, but Loy Vaught. That is an interesting name. I don't remember him. I watched a lot of basketball. There's a card on the back. Sticking. Sam Mitchell. Watched a lot of basketball back in this era. I really loved, I loved college basketball, but I really also loved the NBA. Looks like we have a Shaquille O'Neal. This might be an insert. NBA All-Rookie First Team, Shaquille O'Neal. Everyone knows that name. We have a Michael Adams, David Benoit, Charles Oakley, Nigel Knight. I don't remember that name either. And I did, like I said, I watched a lot of NBA basketball, especially the Bulls. Ronnie Cycli, Frank Brakowski, remember that name. Rolando Blackman, Charles Barkley. Action shot there. Somebody's either taking a charge, blocking foul, maybe an and one. It's a nice shot there. Kendall Gill. That was old Charlotte Hornets back in the early 90s. Jerome Kersey, looking down from the camera. Calbert Chaney. Played for the Bullets, the Washington Bullets, but was also, I remember him for playing under Bobby Knight for Indiana Hoosiers. Tyrone Corbin and Doc Rivers. So moving right along, slowly through these stacks. Just it is going to be a little bit longer since I'm cutting these, and they are a little bit slower just to kind of peel through. But looking for these inserts, the Scoring Kings insert is the card that we want. Got a Chris Mullin on the back. We have Dikembe Mutombo and Vlade Divac again, Mark Jackson, Billy Owens, Detlef Schrempf, Mark Price. Similar collations as before, it seems like. Will Perdue, Anthony Peeler, Stanley Roberts, Bimbo Coles, another Reggie Miller. Need to hit a string of Jordans, Ron Harper and Chris Mullin. 2 more packs in this stack of 9. And we will see if I can pick up the pace if they're not sticking. We got a Olden Polynice and that on the back. Looking for more Jordans. I don't know how many Jordans there are in this set, but Hubert Davis again, head coach for my Tar Heels. They play here in just a little bit. I'll be watching that. We're watching the NC State game right now. This is first round draft pick, Irvin Johnson, not Irvin Magic Johnson. Terry Porter, Purvis Ellison, Mark Eaton, Charles Smith, Oliver Miller, Steve Smith for the Miami Heat. Blue Edwards. And Olden Polynice. Last pack in this 9-pack stack on the right. Going to appreciate y'all being here. Thanks for checking us out as we do a little old school basketball. Looking for the Michael Jordan and some of these other fun inserts that are in this set. What a name there. Isaiah Thomas. Let's set him aside. I'm kind of setting aside some of these Hall of Fame guys. John Paxson, deadly shooter for the Bulls back in their era of, there's a Robert Parrish, Kevin Willis, Vern Fleming, Scott Burrell. I think Scott, he played for, I want to say maybe Connecticut. Yeah, it's Connecticut. Otis Thorpe, Reggie Williams, Dennis Rodman, traded to the Spurs, ended up with the Bulls. There's Kenny Smith, another, that is a very interesting shot there. Check that out. He's holding on to the rim, and he's definitely going to get called out on that for goal interference probably. So Kenny Smith, also a Tar Heel. And then we have a Malcolm Mackey. Or Malcolm McKay, I'm not sure, one of the two. Let's see, this one feels like it's the cards up on the top here, so I'm going to see if I can gently, there we go, yeah, see that card was up on the top, kind of how it was slid in. So we have Truckin'. This looks like an insert card here. Karl Malone. Career highlights. That's an interesting pose there from probably, what, a 6'8" player. So number 10 out of the Truckin'. Not sure what that insert is, but that's a very interesting photo pose. Still looking for Sam Cassell. He played for the Florida State Seminoles. He was best known by us Tar Heel fans as when the Florida State Seminoles played in the Dean Dome for the first time after joining the ACC. They won. They beat the Tar Heels on the Tar Heels home court and said that it was a wine and cheese crowd. Corey Blunt. So that was obviously not very, there's a Dell Curry, Steph Curry's dad. The Tar Heel fans didn't like it. So they didn't like him at all after he said that. So Sam Cassell, wine and cheese is what I think of him calling the Tar Heel fans in the Dean Dome back in the 90s. Probably 90s, maybe late 80s. I don't remember the exact year when they joined the Atlantic Coast Conference, but I remember watching the game, and I remember being extremely disappointed in the Tar Heels for the way they played. And Sam Cassell, like a lot of folks that play the Tar Heels, someone gets hot, and they absolutely destroy the Tar Heels sometimes. So I do love basketball. College basketball right now, especially, I could name some NBA players right now, but not like I used to be able to back in this time frame, 80s and 90s. There's a Fleer Ultra checklist. Those are just wasted space. There's another David Robinson. Hopefully we get another Jordan here. Orlando Woolridge. And Jeff Turner. Glenn Rice behind Rex Walters. He played for the Kentucky Wildcats, I believe, or was it Kansas? Kansas. I remember him because he was a deadly three-point shooter There's another Glenn Rice. Seeing a lot of these same cards. Anthony Avent. And Greg Anthony. Danny Ainge. And on the back, the Dell Curry again. It's 2 Dell Currys. Need multiple Jordans here. So yeah, I appreciate your patience going through this. This is going to be a longer rip than I normally like doing for the videos, but I've been wanting to do this box. There's the Isaiah Thomas on the back. And we have another Karl Malone. This is, Karl Malone is the inserts here. So this is Karl Malone, not next to the truck, but 3 of 14. This is the mailman insert there. Mark Jackson again. Billy Owens. Detlef Schrempf. Terrible name, I think. Mark Price, but he's also European, so it's not a common American name. So Anthony Peeler. So I'm being careful to not peel these off. Stanley Roberts. Bimbo Coles again. Another Reggie Miller. I think that's the 3rd Reggie Miller we pulled. Doug Christie. Ron Harper. Chris Mullen. And Isaiah Thomas. I'm looking at the back just to make sure they're not stuck and the name on the front matches the name on the back, indicating that it's not stuck. So some people pre-cut these things before they start recording, but I just jump right into it here. So what do we have here? We have another Hubert Davis. That's the 3rd Hubert Davis. Cedric Sabalas. Kevin Johnson again. Some of these, again, same Terry Porter. Purvis Ellison. Mark Eaton. Charles Smith still, I guess, like, not sure. I think like Larry Bird is already retired. I don't remember. Sounds like we just had a Amazon delivery. It's interesting. I ordered a package this morning, and I think I've sent off a bunch of cards for as a Patrick Ewing, another for PSA, and I ordered a case to store my PSA cards. It was Bobby Hurley. I did not like him. He played at Duke. To store my PSA cards, slabs, and ordered this morning, and it is slated to be here today. And we do have a distribution center that's not too far from here, probably half hour, 45 minutes away. But the fact that they obviously have that in that facility, it's not like it's a common thing that people buy around here. Slab storage with the foam, that kind of stuff. And yet it's going to be here before the end of the day. Very interesting. Suzanne and I were talking how impatient kids are these days, and that's why. You can order something today and get it today from Amazon. It's really crazy. I've had things come in the middle of the night from the day before, but the same day for something so random is just interesting. So Robert Parrish, Kevin Willis, Vern Fleming again, Scott Burrell. We have Otis Thorpe, Reggie Williams, Dennis Rodman again. Maybe these next stacks will have a load of Jordans. We have Kenny Smith, the Jet. They called him the Jet. Malcolm Mackey. And Johnny Newman. Moving right along here. Thanks again for checking us out. I hope you're enjoying the content. I've been putting up a little more here recently. hope you go back and see the Bowman Draft that is uploaded. Did the jumbo box of Bowman Draft 2023, and man, hit a big auto in that. So go check that out. That was a fantastic pull. John Starks, and not the Tom Brady. I give that away. That would have been nice. I do have one more box, and I'm going to kind of just decide on what I should do with it. There's a George Lynch, another Tar Heel that made it to the pros. Lee Mayberry, Anthony Mason, Kevin Johnson, Derek McKay, I don't even know McKee, I guess that's McKee, Rod Strickland, Buck Johnson, Jeff Malone, and last but not least, another Greg Anthony. Still cold out here in the mountains. It is sunny though, so that's good. There's snow, I won't say snow caps, but some snow at the higher elevations up on the mountains that we can see from here. We're about 3,000 feet elevation, our home, and some of the mountains around here go up to 6. The mountain I'm looking at now is probably 4,500, maybe 5,000, and it's got some a little more snow than we see around here, even in the shady areas. I have a Dominique Wilkins, man, what an absolute crazy dunker he was. God, he could jump. He and Michael Jordan competed back and forth in the finals of the dunk contest, back when the dunk contest was gaining some popularity. And man, he could absolutely jump out of the gym and just crazy highlight reel type stuff. There's a Hakeem Olajuwon. That's the first Hakeem we found. Another outstanding player. We have Olden Polynice again. I think that was the second Olden Polynice we've pulled. Dikembe Mutombo. And he had a card stuck behind him is Sean Brooks. There's another card behind him, I think. Nope, and Larry Nance. I think Larry Nance was a pretty solid dunker as well. Hope everyone's doing well and off to a good solid 2024. It's like a Alonzo Mourning, NBA All-Rookie First Team. Nick Anderson, he was I won't say he played at Georgia Tech. I can't remember for certain. Kenny Anderson definitely played at Georgia Tech. I remember him. He had a lot of hype. He was a solid point guard. Solid guard. Good ball control. It was Willie Anderson. Thurl Bailey. Sean Bradley, draft pick. He was a solid player as well. This is rookie. Draft card. Dwayne Caldwell. Still looking for more Jordans. The Buck Williams. LaBradford Smith. Karl Malone, the mailman. It's his base, not his insert, so I'll hold that one aside. Anthony Bowie. And Derek Coleman. And last but not least, we have Gary Payton for the Seattle Supersonics. That's how I used to know them by. Seattle Supersonics. Now, I guess then they became just the Sonics. Gary Payton was a good ball player too. So we have a Rick Fox, another Tar Heel. We have a Michael Cage. There's another Michael Jordan. Two Michael Jordans. So Michael Cage and Michael Jordan. Get him sleeved up. Two Jordans. Another Alonzo Mourning for the Charlotte Hornets. Kevin Gamble. Adam Keefe. Robert Horry. Houston behind him. This one's a little more stuck than some of the others. I'll show you the card. There we go. Byron Houston. Terry Mills. Mark Macon played for Temple University. I remember him because he also just had Temple was the #1 team in the country, I think. And North Carolina, they played North Carolina, I want to say at the Dean Dome. And I'd never heard of Temple. And Temple had Mark Macon, and he was just an absolute fantastic player. And Temple beat. I remember Temple beat North Carolina, and I got so mad, like I'd cried, because I don't think Carolina was supposed to win, but they got beat by Temple. And I remember walking around the block, finding my mom. She was out on a walk, and I was like crying. That's how much I loved the Tar Heels and hated when they lost. Chris Mills, Horace Grant, Larry Johnson, and Rick Fox, another Tar Heel alum. I actually saw Rick Fox when I was at North Carolina basketball camp in 1989. He was one of the counselors that would help us kind of train. I guess maybe he had just graduated. I can't remember if he just graduated or if there was one more year. But that was I remember Rick Fox walking. Actually, I think he was walking by the pool. I got his autograph while he and some King Rice and some of those guys were walking by the pool at the dorms. There's D. Brown. I think he won the dunk contest as a smaller guy. Muhammad Abdul Rauf. Terry Davis, Terrell Brandon, B.J. Armstrong, another Muggsy Bogues, Ala Abdelnaby played for the Duke Blue Devils. No one liked him when he played against the Tar Heels. Latrell Sprewell, Rick Schmidt, Gerald Wilkins, and I have two more cards here. Scottie Pippen and Mark Bryant. All right, moving right along. We're making some hay here. We're getting down to the last couple stacks. Still looking for the Jordan Scoring Kings. That would be fantastic. So we have a Mookie Blaylock. And Michael Cage. Is there a Michael Jordan after that one? Clyde the Glide Drexler. So Michael somebody right before the Michael Jordan. Michael Adams. A lot of Michaels in this set. David Benoit. I'm guessing he was French. Charles Oakley. Nigel Knight. I guess that's how you pronounce Nigel. Ronnie Cycli. He looks like he was 50 years old playing against these 20-year-olds. He played for Syracuse. I do remember that. Frank Burkowski. Rolando Blackman. There's another Charles Barkley. His college days were spent at Auburn University. Kendall Gill. It says he was traded to the Supersonics. Jerome Kersey. And Calbert Chaney again played for the Indiana Hoosiers. Got me a little mountain of cards over here. To my left, I got my ones I'm going to sleeve up to my right. And we have something here. I don't know, this is maybe a Rebound King. Career highlights. So this is another one of those Karl Malone inserts. Karl Malone was kind of the poster boy for this set. Karl Malone insert. Set that to the side there. Lee Mayberry. Anthony Mason. Kevin Johnson. Derek Mackey. Rod Strickland. Buck Johnson. Jeff Malone with the Jazz. Nick Anderson. Kenny Anderson. That sounds, that collation is back-to-back Jacks. We have Nate McMillan. a very, not a huge set. I don't want to say it's like a 200 card set. So, we could potentially make a set here with these. Another Sean Bradley. He was tall. Center for the 76ers. I don't remember how tall he was, but seven something, 7'6", 7'5". Honestly, I can see better on the phone, so that looks like 7'6" to me. But my eyes, I'm getting old, guys. I'm getting old, so I'm starting to probably need some readers. I may actually go this weekend and get some readers just to help out some of these pulling the cards way away. There's a Byron Houston. It's not too bad. I mean, I can see fine for the most part. There's another Hakeem Olajuwon. But there are some things, and I've noticed it, kind of trying to read like the numbers, letters on the back of baseball cards and of course basketball cards. There's another Michael Jordan. 3 Michael Jordans. I love my Michael Jordans. I sent a bunch of my Jordans out to PSA. I say a bunch, probably like 20. So it's not that many, but it's a bunch for me. I've got way more than 20 Jordans, but kind of went through and made sure they're going to grade well, and because some of them are older cards, 90s, 80s, mostly all of them actually, even the baseball ones. I love the baseball Upper Deck short print number 1 of him in the White Sox uniform. It's really a cool card. Since I played baseball, and there's another Mark Macon. But sent those off and should have those back. And then I sent some more modern cards and some vintage cards too. Some that I'm going to probably keep the good ones, sell on eBay the rest. Just I've kind of made it the point this year to offload cards that I don't want to keep and use the funds that I make off of those to buy cards boxes for the channel and just to kind of have fun with. So that's my strategy, is to send some cards out, get them graded, as long as I feel like they're worth getting graded, because getting them graded, modern cards right now are $14.99 to have them graded. So I want to at least make 20 or 30 bucks. So if I can make 20 or 30 bucks every pop, it can add up. 10, 20 or 30 bucks can buy a box of cards. So there's a Christian Laettner. As a Tar Heel fan, I hated that man, but respect him as a basketball player. He played for Duke. I don't know, us Tar Heel fans called him a crybaby, but he was good, no doubt. And Susanna's probably over there laughing at me. She just walked up and me calling Duke players babies. I have said, though, if one of the kids goes to Duke, I will be the biggest Duke fan and even wear Duke jerseys and shirts, and there you go. So it's all about the kids. I can set my pride aside and not worry about. I'm still going to always be a Tar Heel fan, but I would, and I'll pull for the Tar Heels over Duke, even if the kids go there, unless the kids are playing a sport for Duke. So there, I said it. I put it out there in the world, into the universe, that I would wear a Duke jersey, Duke sweatshirt, Duke something, even though I don't like Duke. You can't be a Tar Heel fan and like Duke. Can't be a Duke fan and like the Tar Heels, probably. There's Tim Hardaway. He was a solid basketball player. And Bill Laimbeer, part of the Detroit Pistons that were extremely physical with Dennis Rodman and Bill Laimbeer. This guy would punch people in the face, it seemed like, to get a rebound. And I'm serious. He was a very physical player, and that's sometimes what it takes. There's another Dookie, Danny Ferry. You can tell I watched a lot of ACC basketball and know all the Duke all the Duke players and all the Tar Heel players that played against the Tar Heels, that beat the Tar Heels in games like Sam Cassell and some of those that Mark Makins of the world that played for teams that I've never heard of and people haven't heard of. Temple. Not many people have heard of Temple University, but they beat the Tar Heels, and I cried because I didn't like that they lost. Rick Mahorn. Sam Perkins, another Tar Heel. Lloyd Daniels. We haven't seen some of these, so this is some new coalition. Jeff Hornacek. Lionel Simmons. Old school name. Eddie Johnson. Traded to the Hornets with the Supersonics at that time in that picture. Avery Johnson. I'm pretty sure he was a Dookie too. College? No, he went to Southern. He looks like someone that did go to Duke. Dennis Scott, he was a Georgia Tech. He was a Tar Heel killer too. He could absolutely drain threes. Or he did against the Tar Heels. Chris Morris and Kevin Gamble. In the comments, let me know who your favorite college teams are. If you were a basketball fan or are a basketball fan. All right, we have a Charles Barkley. This may be one of the inserts we're looking for. This may be a Rebound King insert. Charles Barkley, no, it's not an All-NBA Charles Barkley. Set that aside as an insert. Still looking for one of the Rebound Kings or hopefully the Scoring Kings. Michael Jordan. There's a Dwayne Farrell. Looking for more Jordans. There's another Sam Cassell. Told you that story. Calling the Tar Heel fans a wine and cheese fan base. LaFonso Ellis. Terry Harper on the back of his. No, Derek Harper, not Terry. Brad Daugherty, Tar Heel, actually from this area. He's from a place called Black Mountain, North Carolina. Corey Blunt. And on the back of that is a Dale Curry, Steph Curry's father. D. Brown again, and Mookie Blaylock. Last pack in this stack, and then we'll have one more stack to go, and we'll wrap it up and see how many Jordans we actually can get. We've gotten 3 so far. Still looking for the Scoring Kings. There's a Ricky Pierce. Sean Elliott, he played for the Kansas Jayhawks. Doug West. Tim Perry. Wayman Tisdale. I always like that name, Wayman. We have a checklist. J.R. Reed. He's a Tar Heel alum. Eric Murdoch. Scott Skiles. Rumil Robinson. I think he played for the Michigan Wolverines. Walt Williams. Dale Ellis. Michael Williams. And another Alonzo Mourning. All right, on to the next stack. We're looking for, I got the insert set, the Karl Malone Highlight Series. These are some of the inserts we're looking for here. Look for 3 insert sets, Scoring Kings, NBA Rookie First Team, and All NBA First, Second, or Third Team. We have the Career Highlights, Karl Malone, and there you go. That's what we're looking for. The Jordan Scoring Kings is kind of a sought-after insert card that a lot of folks like. It is a beautiful card, and it'd be fun if we get one. Corey Blunt. Dennis Scott, he played ACC guy for the Yellow Jackets from Georgia Tech. Ricky Pierce. Sean Elliott again. Doug West again. It's like a similar pack as we had just before. Wayman Tisdale. Another checklist. J.R. Reed. Eric Murdoch. Scott Skiles, the exact same correlation. And Ramil Robinson. Along with the last one, Walt Williams. It's interesting how, and they still do it, even the modern cards these days have correlations where if you can kind of determine the correlation. You don't know which packs are going to be which, but you can kind of tell what cards are coming once you open enough packs. So Rick Mahorn, Sam Perkins, Lloyd Daniels, Pearson, Eddie Johnson, Avery Johnson. We've seen some of these before as well. Luther Wright. I don't remember Luther Wright. Dennis Scott. We just the second time we've had this. Chris Morris. We have Wayland here in a second. There's Sean Elliott, Doug West, and Charles Oakley. Hear the wind chimes in the background. It's obviously wind's blowing enough to give us a little background music, along with the heat pump that's been. So here's the Scoring Kings. This is what we're looking for, but that's not the Jordan. It's the Alonzo Mourning Scoring Kings, which is a beautiful card. As you could tell, just an absolute beautiful card there. So I'll sleeve that one up. So it's not the Jordan, but we've got a few Jordans. Mookie Blaylock, Matt Bullard, Victor Alexander, Mark Aguirre, Terry Davis, Terrell Brandon, B.J. Armstrong, Muggsy Bogues, Ala Abdenabi, Stacey Ogman, John Williams, and Paul Graham. Down to, 6 more packs, and then we'll be finished. Thanks for hanging in there with us. We'll get this. This is a longer video than normal, but since these are older packs, it takes a little more to get into and go through kind of safely, but I appreciate you staying with us this entire time, and hope you've enjoyed this rip. It's been fun because it's just older. It's not a terribly expensive box. It's just some old stuff that takes me back to the childhood of watching NBA basketball in the early 90s. LaFonso Ellis, Derek Harper, another Brad Daugherty, Corey Blunt, Dell Curry, D. Brown, Mookie Blaylock, and Matt Bullard. It's like another Karl Malone career highlights. Set that over there. Tim Perry. Wayman Tisdale. I have 2 checklists in this one. That's weird. J.R. Reed. Eric Murdoch. Scott Skiles. I got a stack of cards that's about to fall over. Ramil Robinson. Walt Williams. The early 90s back is when they first started kind of using a certain type of kind of the glossy look, and Fleer jumped on that after Upper Deck kind of started, I guess. Stadium Club was kind of the same time frame. Spud Webb, as well as on the back another Fleer Ultra checklist. who collects checklists these days or ever? I think it was just maybe the card companies thought that was going to be something people would want, so they could know what cards they were going to get. And if you had a complete set, obviously that's you'd need the checklist. Terry Davis, these are sliding out really well. Terrell Brandon, B.J. Armstrong, Muggsy Bogues, Stacey Augmon, John Williams, and these get a little bit sticky. Paul Graham, James Worthy, Hall of Famer, and Tar Heel alum. 3 more packs, and we'll be wrapped up so far. 3 Michael Jordans and some number of Hall of Famers. We have our scoring kings, but it was not the Jordan, but it was the Alonzo Mourning, which not a bad scoring king. I liked Alonzo Mourning. There's a David Robinson, Hall of Famer. It's interesting how the first cards usually are the ones that stick the most. Rex Walters, Glenn Rice, Anthony Avent, Danny Ainge, Michael Cage, Clyde the Glide Drexler, Michael Adams, David Vigneault, and Charles Oakley. 2 more packs to go. If you're new here, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and make a comment. Let me know what cards you like out of this set. If you like this set, if you like this rip, if you'd like to see a little more basketball. I love pulling Michael Jordan, so it'd have to be in the 90s because the boxes in the 80s are way expensive. So have to be the 90s, looking for possible inserts. That's kind of where you get more value if you're looking for Jordans. Sam Bowie, Danny Manning, Rick Schmitz, and Gerald Wilkins, Scottie Pippen, Jordan teammate, Mark Bryant, who's behind him, Loy Vaught, Gary Long, Sam Mitchell, and last but not least, Vlade Divac. All right, last pack. Again, hit that thumbs up. Let me know what you thought. Comment. And I appreciate you being here. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for being along on this journey. Appreciate you all. Appreciate all the comments on previous videos. It always makes me smile to see some of the comments. Ronnie Cycli. See if we can find another Jordan to end us off in this video with. We have a Rolando Blackman. We have Charles Barkley. I don't think Jordan's in the Charles Barkley correlation, but he could be. Maybe someone messed up. We got a Jerome Kersey, Calbert Chaney, Tyrone Corbin, Doc Rivers, Brian Shaw, Todd Day, and last but not least, a Charles Barkley. We had a number of Charles Barkleys. That was kind of the most common, I want to say, of the Hall of Famers, Charles Barkley, but we have Michael Jordan, 3 Michael Jordans, and we'll get these sleeved up. And I appreciate this is kind of what we're looking for Jordans, any Jordan, even though this is probably his 10th year. But love Michael Jordan and appreciate you being here. 1993-94 Fleer Ultra. It's been a fun rip. I've really enjoyed it. Thanks for being here. See you next time.